Every night, millions of seniors go to bed unaware that their heart is at its most vulnerable between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. when silent heart attacks are most likely to strike. These heart events often show no warning signs and leave no time to call for help. But what if one simple change to your bedtime routine could drastically reduce your risk? As a brain doctor, I've watched too many patients suffer in silence until we address this overlooked factor. Today, we reveal what you should start doing before bed to protect your heart, sleep better, and possibly save your life. Imagine this: you're 68 years old, comfortably in bed by 10 p.m. The day was uneventful, maybe a short walk, maybe a call with your daughter, maybe a quiet dinner alone. As you drift off to sleep, your body should be entering its most restorative state. But instead, while you rest, your heart is silently struggling. Around 2:45 a.m., without warning, it happens: tightness in the chest, a pause in breath. But no one's awake to notice. And when you wake up the next morning, if you wake up, you're left with a sense that something just isn't right. This is what many doctors call a silent heart attack, a cardiac event that occurs without dramatic symptoms, sometimes mistaken for indigestion, fatigue, or anxiety. It's especially common during the early morning hours when blood pressure dips and the body is at its most vulnerable. What's more alarming, these events are becoming increasingly common among seniors, and few people are ever warned. As a brain doctor, I've spent years focused on cognition, circulation, and the subtle systems that link heart and mind. And what I've learned is this: the heart and brain are not separate battlegrounds. They are deeply connected, especially during sleep, and protecting one means supporting the other. So let's talk about the link between bedtime habits and silent heart events. Specifically, what's happening inside the body, and why a simple 5-minute routine before bed could make a profound difference. Why this matters now more than ever. Let's begin with the numbers. According to the American Heart Association, nearly 1 in 5 heart attacks is classified as silent, meaning the person experiencing it has little to no idea it occurred. Silent heart attacks are 3 times more likely to occur during nighttime hours than during the day. Seniors aged 60 and older are twice as likely to experience nighttime cardiac symptoms than younger adults. But the scariest part, most silent heart attacks aren't diagnosed until long after they've happened, when they've already caused lasting damage. Some people find out after a minor stroke, others during a routine scan for unrelated issues, and some, tragically, never find out at all. Now, you might be wondering, what does bedtime have to do with any of this? Everything. The body at night, a hidden battle during sleep. Your body goes through important physiological changes. Blood pressure naturally dips, a process called nocturnal dipping, which is normally healthy. But in seniors, especially those with heart disease risk factors, this dip can become too much. When blood pressure drops to low, the heart struggles to pump efficiently. And if the blood is thicker due to dehydration, or circulation is poor due to lack of movement, the risk of a clot or arrhythmia increases dramatically. Add in factors like poor sleep posture, sleep apnea, emotional stress before bed, or a heavy meal too late in the evening, and you have the perfect storm brewing. During what should be your most restful hours, what most people don't realize is this: nighttime is not passive for your body. Your heart is working hard to repair, to regulate, to keep rhythm, and your brain, too, is busy clearing toxins and consolidating memory. If the heart falters, the brain suffers. If the brain is anxious, the heart races. This is especially crucial for older adults, whose systems are more fragile and less adaptive. That means tiny changes, like what you do in the 30 minutes before sleep, can either support your heart or strain it. A cultural blind spot. Culturally, we've been taught that the morning is the most important part of the day. Eat a good breakfast. We're told, stretch, walk, hydrate, focus. But what we do before bed has been largely ignored, treated as a passive, sleepy wind down that doesn't require intention. But science says otherwise. A 2019 study published in Circulation revealed that nighttime habits such as hydration levels, blood pressure control, and sleep quality can predict cardiovascular events more accurately than daytime metrics. Another study in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that poor bedtime routines in seniors correlated with higher levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, and C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation, both known contributors to heart disease. Yet, most seniors don't have a structured bedtime plan, no wind-down ritual, no circulation support, no hydration. Often, they watch TV in bed, scroll a phone, or simply collapse from the fatigue of the day. These aren't bad habits, they're just unaware ones. And because these habits feel normal, no one questions them until something happens. What the brain tells us about the heart as a brain specialist. I often see patients for memory loss, dizziness, or unexplained fatigue. But what I've learned to look for quietly is how their cardiovascular health is playing a hidden role. Many of these patients have undiagnosed heart strain, interrupted sleep, or signs of prior silent cardiac events. You see, the brain needs constant blood flow to function. But if the heart is working overtime at night or worse, if it pauses in rhythm, the brain pays the price. Cognitive decline, microstrokes, anxiety all can begin with poor cardiac regulation during rest. This is why the nighttime window is critical. When you support your heart before bed, you're also protecting your mind. You're reducing inflammation, easing vascular tension, and giving both organs a stable, restful foundation. Why this video is different: you're not going to hear this kind of advice during a standard 15-minute doctor's visit. Most physicians don't have time to discuss bedtime routines. They prescribe medication, recommend a general sleep hygiene pamphlet, and move on. But what they don't always say, what they often can't say, is that a 5-minute action before bed may do more to protect your heart than a second prescription. And that's what we're going to give you next. It's not complicated. It doesn't require equipment. It doesn't require supplements or expense. Just a shift in awareness, a new routine, a way to tell your body as you lay down, I've got you. You can rest now. Because heart attacks don't always come with pain. They don't always wake you up, and they don't always give second chances. But prevention happens before the moment, before the emergency, before the damage. And that begins tonight before your next sleep. In the next section, we'll explore what's really happening inside the aging body during sleep, the warning signs that often go unnoticed, and the number one mistake most seniors make every night without realizing it. Stay with us. This could change the way you sleep and the way you live. Most people imagine a heart attack as something loud, dramatic, and unmistakable: chest clutching, sudden collapse, a rush to the emergency room. But in reality, many heart attacks are neither loud nor obvious, especially in older adults. Heart attacks often happen in silence during sleep, leaving behind subtle damage that accumulates over time. These are known as silent heart attacks, and they pose one of the most misunderstood and underestimated risks to senior health today. Let's break this issue down so it becomes not only clear, but urgent. We'll explore its root causes, its long-term consequences, and the common mistakes people make that unknowingly increase their risk night after night. Mini Section 1: Root Causes. What triggers silent nighttime heart attacks? The body follows rhythms daily, nightly, hormonal, electrical, and at night, particularly during deep sleep, your system enters a very delicate state. 1. Nocturnal dipping gone too far. Blood pressure normally dips at night by about 10 to 20%. This is a healthy phenomenon known as nocturnal dipping. But in some seniors, especially those with existing cardiovascular conditions, this drop becomes too pronounced. If the blood pressure falls too low, the heart struggles to maintain adequate circulation, especially if blood volume is already reduced from dehydration or medications. Imagine a city where the power grid lowers its output at night to conserve energy. That's fine until someone forgets to monitor voltage, and the grid fails completely. That's what happens when your cardiovascular system dips too far without support. 2. Poor circulation and stagnant blood flow. As we age, our blood vessels become less elastic. This reduces the body's ability to adapt to changes in posture, temperature, and sleep position. Add to this the fact that most people are less active in the evening, often sedentary for hours before bed, and you have the perfect storm: poor peripheral circulation, slower blood flow, and increased risk of clot formation. Think of it like a stream. When the water flows steadily, it stays clear and fresh. But if the stream slows to a trickle and sits still too long, debris builds up. The same is true for your blood. 3. Nighttime dehydration. Many people stop drinking water after dinner to avoid nighttime bathroom trips. While that's understandable, it creates a dangerous condition: overnight dehydration. Your blood becomes slightly thicker, your heart has to work harder to pump it, and the risk of clotting increases, especially if you sleep in a warm room or take medications that promote fluid loss like diuretics. One small study from the European Heart Journal showed that even mild dehydration could reduce blood volume and increase resting heart rate to key markers that strain the cardiovascular system. Mini Section 2. Long-term effects. What happens if you ignore it? Silent heart attacks often go undetected until they've already done their damage. They're not always fatal, but they are rarely harmless. 1. Cumulative damage to the heart muscle. Each silent heart attack leaves behind small scars on the heart muscle. Over time, this scarring weakens the heart's ability to contract efficiently, leading to congestive heart failure, a condition where fluid builds up in the lungs, legs, or abdomen, and simple tasks like walking become exhausting. Many seniors with chronic fatigue, breathlessness, or just getting old symptoms are actually living with the long-term effects of undiagnosed silent cardiac events. 2. Increased risk of full-blown heart attacks or strokes. Once your heart has sustained even one silent attack, the risk of future, more severe events rises sharply. Why? Because the electrical and muscular function of the heart becomes unstable. Blood clots are more likely to form, and arrhythmias, irregular rhythms, can become more frequent during rest. And if blood supply to the brain is disrupted even for a few seconds, the consequences can be just as severe: microstrokes, vertigo, memory lapses, and even early signs of dementia. 3. Sleep-related cognitive decline. The heart doesn't just feed the body, it feeds the brain. Poor nighttime cardiac function reduces oxygen supply to the brain, disrupts deep sleep, and impairs the brain's ability to remove waste through the glymphatic system. Its nighttime cleansing cycle. This leads to cognitive fatigue, emotional instability, and even accelerated brain aging. Seniors who experience chronic sleep disruption often show symptoms of brain fog and memory loss, not because of Alzheimer's, but because of cardiovascular insufficiency. Mini Section 3. How people make it worse without realizing it. Here's where it gets even more concerning. Most people make choices every night that unintentionally put their heart under more strain. These habits are common, innocent, and entirely fixable. 1. Watching TV or scrolling in bed. Blue light from screens disrupts melatonin, increases alertness, and raises cortisol levels. But beyond poor sleep, it also raises nighttime heart rate. In seniors, this elevated sympathetic nervous system activity can increase the likelihood of arrhythmias, abnormal heart rhythms, that may become dangerous if sustained during sleep. Many believe screen time helps them relax, but physiologically, the body is doing the opposite. It's preparing for battle, not rest. 2. Skipping evening movement after dinner. Most seniors move very little. They sit for hours, then go to bed. The body needs gentle circulation to prevent blood from pooling in the legs and to support oxygen exchange. A 5 to 10 minute walk or gentle stretch before bed has been shown to improve vascular tone, reduce heart rate, and support healthy sleep pressure. Yet, movement is often dismissed as a daytime activity only. This no exercise after dark myth hurts heart health more than it helps. 3. Late, heavy meals. Eating close to bedtime diverts blood flow to the digestive system, making the heart work harder at the very time it should be slowing down. Heavy meals increase core temperature, raise nighttime blood pressure, and have been linked to nocturnal hypertension, a hidden danger few doctors test for, but one strongly associated with heart attacks and strokes. Especially risky, high-fat, high-sodium meals. They stiffen arteries and thicken blood just when the body is trying to relax. 4. Relying on alcohol or sedatives. Many seniors take a small glass of wine or a sleeping pill to wind down, but both substances disrupt REM sleep, suppress Heart rate variability, a critical marker of cardiovascular resilience, and can lead to overnight awakenings due to dehydration, reflux, or blood pressure swings. The illusion of calm masks the reality of underlying stress on the system. What doctors don't tell you, or don't have time to in a typical 10-minute checkup. Your doctor may ask about blood pressure, medications, and maybe sleep, but they rarely have time to walk you through how your bedtime routine influences your heart's behavior between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m., the window of highest risk for cardiac events. Why? Because the system isn't built for prevention, it's built for intervention. What most doctors won't tell you, but what you deserve to know, is that heart attacks don't need to be dramatic to be deadly. The 30 minutes before bed can either protect or pressure your cardiovascular system. Tiny shifts like movement, hydration, and calming breath can literally change how your heart behaves overnight. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Because once you see the pattern, you can change it. Visual analogy to remember: picture your heart like an orchestra. During the day, it's conducting, managing blood flow, reacting to your choices. At night, it hands the baton to the nervous system and says, keep the tempo calm, let me rest. But if you go to bed dehydrated, anxious, stiff, or overloaded with food, you've handed your heart a full score of chaotic music and asked it to perform solo blindfolded. The result: missed beats, tired rhythm, silent alarms. But if you prepare, stretch, hydrate, breathe, the heart goes into night mode with grace. The tempo slows, the instruments settle, the body repairs, and you wake up not just alive, but restored. Silent heart attacks don't happen at random. They happen when your body is unprepared, when the circulatory system is strained, the heart is dehydrated or overstimulated, and sleep offers no repair. But the most powerful part of this story is not the risk, it's the opportunity. Because a 5-minute change to your bedtime routine can lower that risk significantly and help your heart, brain, and body enter sleep in a state of calm and strength. The solution is not medication. It's not an expensive device or a strict diet. It's something quiet, something you can do tonight. It's called the evening circulatory wind down, a combination of simple movement, hydration, and nervous system regulation designed to stabilize your heart and lower nighttime cardiovascular strain. Let's walk through it, step by step. What it is: the evening circulatory wind down. This technique involves 3 basic components. 1. Gentle physical movement to promote blood flow and prevent stagnation. 2. Intentional breath work to shift your nervous system from fight or flight into rest and digest. 3. Targeted hydration and calming nourishment to reduce blood thickness and support recovery. You'll do it about 30 to 60 minutes before bed, right after finishing your evening screen time or cleaning up from dinner. It only takes 5 to 10 minutes, and it requires no equipment, just a chair, some water, and your presence. It's designed to do what pills often can't: help your body remember how to restore itself. How it works, the science behind the ritual. Let's break down why each step matters. 1. Gentle movement boosts vascular tone. As we age, blood vessels lose elasticity. When you lie down after hours of inactivity, circulation slows further. Blood can pool in the extremities, and the heart has to work harder to maintain consistent pressure. A few minutes of light movement helps stimulate endothelial function, the ability of blood vessels to contract and relax efficiently. A 2020 study in the Journal of Applied Physiology showed that low-intensity movement before bed improved nighttime blood flow and reduced resting blood pressure in older adults. It doesn't take much, just enough to tell the body, you're not shutting down completely, you're preparing with care. 2. Deep breathing regulates heart rhythm. When you take long, slow breaths, especially with extended exhales, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps reduce heart rate, lower cortisol, and promote cardiac stability. In fact, paced breathing, especially for 7, 8, and for 6 breath cycles, has been shown to increase heart rate variability, HRV, a key marker of cardiovascular health and resilience during sleep. Breath is not just for relaxation, it is biochemical communication between your lungs and your heart. 3. Hydration thins the blood and reduces clot risk. Most nighttime heart events are worsened by thickened Add blood, the result of dehydration after hours without fluid intake. Seniors often reduce water intake in the evening to avoid bathroom trips, but going to bed underhydrated increases the heart's workload and promotes clotting. According to a study in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition, even mild dehydration increased nighttime heart rate and systemic inflammation in adults over 60. Simply drinking 6 to 8 ounces of water an hour before bed can help balance this risk without overwhelming the bladder. When and how to use it. Here's your evening circulatory wind down. Step by step. Step 1. Movement 2 to 3 minutes, chair-based circulation routine. Sit at the edge of your bed or a sturdy chair. Ankle pumps, flex and point your feet 10 times. Improves venous return. Heel taps. Tap heels on the floor 10 times to activate calves. Wrist circles. Rotate each wrist 10 times in each direction. Shoulder rolls, big, slow. Shoulder rolls forward and back, 10 each. Neck stretch. Gently tilt head side to side and forward. You don't need to sweat. Just move blood. Step 2. Breath work 2 to 3 minutes. The for 6 breath. Inhale through the nose for seconds. Hold for seconds. Exhale slowly through pursed lips for 6 seconds. Repeat for 6 to 8 cycles. Optional. Place one hand on your chest, one on your belly. Feel them move in rhythm. This slows your heart, steadies blood pressure, and prepares the nervous system for sleep. Step 3. Hydration plus support 2 minutes. Hydration choice. Choose 1. 6 to 8 ounces room temperature water. Optional. Add a pinch of sea salt or squeeze of lemon to improve absorption. Magnesium water. Use magnesium glycinate powder or tablet. Check with your doctor. Optional. Calming tea, chamomile, valerian root, lemon balm, or hawthorn, but avoid if on heart meds without consulting a professional. Avoid caffeine, sugary drinks, or alcohol. These increase nighttime heart strain and disrupt REM cycles. Dos and don'ts. Do repeat this every night, even for 5 minutes. The body responds to consistency. Finish at least 30 minutes before sleep to allow your system to settle. Use this moment to unplug dim lights, reduce noise, signal calm. Combine with a regular bedtime. Your heart loves routine. Don't skip water entirely even if you're afraid of waking up to pee. Just adjust timing. Go to bed angry or anxious if you feel stress. Extend the breathwork session. Use alcohol or sedatives as sleep aids. These raise heart risk, even if they feel calming. Eat a heavy meal within 2 hours of bed. It raises nighttime blood pressure. Optional additions for those who want more. Legs elevated. Pose. Lie on the floor. Place legs on a chair or bed. 5 minutes helps venous return and reduces swelling. Hand grips or resistance balls. 2 minutes of light squeezing can help arterial flexibility and reduce nighttime BP. White noise or low-frequency sound. Studies show that gentle ambient sounds can reduce nighttime cardiac stress. Common myths to avoid. Rest means stillness. False. Stillness after immobility creates stagnation. Rest is active repair. Gentle movement helps. Wine helps you sleep. Temporarily, yes, but it fragments REM sleep, raises core temperature, and spikes cortisol. I'm too old to start something new. You're not starting a workout. You're starting a message. We're safe, we're healing. The body listens. What happens when you make this a habit? The transformation is quiet but profound. Blood pressure becomes more stable at night. Heart rate slows naturally. REM sleep improves. You wake up with less heaviness, less stiffness, and more clarity. And most importantly, you reduce the invisible strain on your heart that builds night after night. This is the prevention you were never told about. But now that you know, you hold the power. Not in fear but in routine, in rhythm, in giving your heart a cue that it's safe to rest. In the next section, we'll explore what happens when this becomes part of your life, not just a bedtime routine, but a nightly signal of safety, dignity, and renewal. Because small things done with intention change everything. The beauty of small habits is that they often whisper their impact before they roar. You may not notice the difference on the first night you try this routine, but give it a week. Just 7 quiet evenings where you sit down, move gently, breathe with purpose, and sip water like you're tending to a sacred machine, and your body will begin to respond. At first, it's subtle. You fall asleep a little faster. You wake up feeling a bit more refreshed, less startled by the alarm. Your legs aren't quite as heavy. Your morning stiffness fades faster. And the fog that once hovered over your thoughts begins to lift. But over time, this 5-minute shift before bed does something deeper. It doesn't just change your evening. It recalibrates your nervous system. It lowers your overnight blood pressure. It sends a quiet message to your heart. You are not under attack. You are safe to rest. The first week, early signs of change within the first few days. Most people experience fewer nighttime awakenings, especially from anxiety or restlessness, smoother transition into sleep without racing thoughts, or tension-improved morning mobility, especially in hands, feet, and lower back, a feeling of being more grounded. Like your body and mind are finally on the same page. Your body thrives on rhythm. And when it starts recognizing this calming ritual as a cue for sleep, your systems begin sensing with it. One 2021 study from the Journal of Sleep Health found that seniors who practiced pre-bed breathwork and gentle movement had 15% fewer nighttime heart rate spikes and reported better next-day cognition than control groups. 1 month in, deeper benefits begin to surface by the end of the first month. The real transformation starts to emerge not just in how you sleep, but in how you live. Blood pressure stabilizes overnight. You may even see improved readings. At your next checkup, heart rate variability improves, indicating better recovery and cardiovascular flexibility. Less inflammation, with better circulation and lower cortisol at night. The whole body begins to cool. Better skin and digestion. Restful sleep activates the body's repair hormones, including melatonin and human growth hormone, both vital for cellular healing. Sharper memory, as the brain clears toxins during sleep. Focus and recall improve. You may find yourself waking up more curious, more calm, with more interest in movement, in connection, in the day ahead. That's not coincidence. That's biology working with you, not against you. Emotional shifts that can't be measured in charts, but numbers only tell part of the story. For many seniors, this evening routine becomes a sacred pause, a moment that belongs only to you. After a lifetime of care for others, children, spouses, work, obligations, this becomes a place of self-honoring, not because it's fancy or perfect, but because it's intentional. You are saying to your heart, I haven't forgotten you. I remember how hard you've worked. I'm here now. I'm listening. And that has emotional power. Seniors often describe feeling more in control of their health, even if other conditions are still present, less reactive and more reflective during the day. More peaceful, not just at night, but in their daily rhythm, less fearful of sleep, a time that once felt unpredictable or risky, because now, sleep isn't something you fall into. It's something you prepare for, with grace. A true story of change. Margaret, 74, started this bedtime practice after hearing about it from a friend. She was skeptical. She had hypertension, struggled with sleep, and believed her age made change irrelevant. But she committed. For the first week, she just did the breath work, then added ankle pumps and shoulder rolls, then the water. Within 3 weeks, her sleep tracker showed fewer wake-ups. Her heart rate at night dropped. She reported thinking clearer in the morning. And after 2 months, her doctor reduced her blood pressure medication by half. But what moved Margaret the most? She said this, I used to lie in bed feeling like my heart